obviously going to get more violent crimes like murder and violent robberies and stuff like that. So that's something that's very similar to America. Shalom YouTube family, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome to the family.
In today's video, we'll be discussing whether or not South Africa is safe to live or visit.
Also on this channel, we'll be traveling throughout the continent to show you the real Africa.
So if you like this type of content, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Let's get into it. So we're gonna have to put a little disclaimer on this. We weren't really planning on discussing this topic at this point in time, but we have gotten so many comments about whether or not it's safe, or people saying that it's not, people saying that it is. So we decided to discuss it today.
So the first thing I want to talk about is what we heard before arriving to South Africa. Now, we met some people on our travels throughout the continent that are friends that told us basically do not visit there because it's a dangerous place, or don't move there because it's a very dangerous place. And just what the media portrays, what we see on YouTube, and how people talk about their experiences and how they have to deal with crime on a daily basis, it can kind of deter you away from wanting to come. Now, we're not oblivious to anything that's happening here. The statistics are true, and as a fact, so what these people were saying is true in a sense. But our experience here have been a little bit different. So before we actually give our experience, we want to give you some of the statistics and why people were saying the things that they actually say.
We're gonna start with the overall crime rate. Out of the top 10 countries in the whole world,
Craig,
the number 3 spot goes to South Africa. So that's pretty high if we want to put it in that context. So it's 76.86. That's the crime rate. It is expressed per 100,000 people. So 76.86 people will experience crime out of every 100,000.
That's very, very high.
Okay, now we're gonna go to the murder rate by country. So South Africa is still number 3. So it's the same thing. It's gonna be out of 100,000. They're at 33.46 per 100,000.
So statistic-wise, this is one of the most dangerous countries you can visit and live. Right. So I would say that if you're outside looking in, then this could deter you for sure from coming.
Next, we're gonna talk about our personal experience. So, like I said before, we've had so many people in the comments saying that they wanted us to talk about the crime, or saying how much crime there is, like people that live here saying that it's terrible and all of these things. And we do understand that, and we don't take any of that lightly. But in our experience, and that's what we're talking about on this channel, is our experiences. We have not experienced any crime. We have not seen any crime. Even living in America, there's a lot of crime. Like if you guys watch the news, especially recently, they just shot up a mall close to where we were when we were living out there, like a week or two ago, something like that. We haven't experienced that, so we can't give other people's experiences.
So when you ask pose the question why we're not talking about crime, is that's the reason right there. Right. But I know it's necessary for us to speak about it.
Really, the only thing that we have even faced that can be really considered negative since we've been here is the guy trying to overcharge us when we first, got here. So we really can't speak towards violent crimes and all of these things.
And that's just a common thing that you're going to get being a tourist, any country that you're going to. If you don't know the prices, they're going to overcharge you. So that is something to be expected for sure. But overall, I would say we feel safe here. We don't feel like we're in danger every single day walking down the street and we're just fearing for our lives. So overall, we've had a great experience.
Now we're going to talk about some things that we do to keep safe. Not anything necessarily that we came up with just because we're here and it's so dangerous, but just practices that we've done forever. Things that I did in America just because I'm a woman, if I'm walking around by myself, things like that. So obviously you want to keep your head on a swivel. Pay attention. Don't walk around oblivious. Don't walk around staring into your phone. Like, that's just not smart in general.
It'd be easy to get your phone snatched and anything like that. So always be aware of what you're seeing that's around you. Also, just don't walk around anywhere late at night. That's one way to get robbed. We've heard stories of people even in like places like Tanzania, where it's supposed to be safer, getting robbed late at night because that's where usually your crime happens. So just try to stay away from, walking in after you leave the club or going party, just walking around the street randomly.
And you don't want to just trust anybody. If you don't know a person, you can't necessarily trust them. And I know that sucks. You want to trust people until they give you a reason not to, but that's not the world that we live in 2023. Yeah. So you can't just trust everybody. You have to use your discernment for sure and try to be smart when you're doing things. You know, if you can be easily lured into an alley by a stranger, that's a problem.
And also just research before coming. Just know what areas are great areas to stay in. Don't put yourself in a situation you might be in a sketchy area, and then now you expose to crime on a day-to-day basis.
Another thing is you don't want to be flashy and ridiculous. You shouldn't be flashing money, flashing jewelry. Yeah. That's just dumb. And we come from America, you know, people don't have to buy stuff. Even here, you know, they do it on a credit, 3 things on a credit system as well. So people that don't even have anything walk around looking like they got it, but you are primed to get snatched up because you look like you have something you don't even have. You're just projecting some stuff that it's just stupid. It's not a good plan.
And lastly, we know that you don't want to come to these African countries and only being like suburban or rich areas, quote unquote. And sometimes you want to go visit the more rural local areas. And there's nothing wrong with that. We have actually done it ourselves. But if you're going to do something like that, just be sure you go with somebody that knows the area, like somebody that you can trust that's a local that can keep you safe in that area, or just know the people around there.
Right. We actually had a comment, well, we've had a few comments where people will say, oh, we haven't seen the real South Africa yet. We need to go to these different townships. And then in the same comment, they'll say how dangerous it is. Like, you're not making it sound like a place to go. Like, that's not how I think. I'm not like, oh, this place is so dangerous. Ooh, let's go there. No, absolutely not.
And for us, what really makes a difference, which probably would be the most important thing, would be prayer and just trusting the Most High that He's going to keep you protected. Right. Now, you don't know what situations you might get in. You can't avoid everything, but you can be prayerful. You can trust in the Most High that He's going to do and protect you. So that's kind of what we live our lives by and how we walk and maneuver through these countries.
Some of the things that seem to be issues that could be causing the crime here is like there seems to be a lot of inequality. It seems like there's a huge wealth gap. There's people with a lot of something and there's people with a little bit of nothing. And it doesn't seem like there's a huge middle class.
Yeah, and when people feeling like they're oppressed and you can see in front of you that these people have everything and you don't have much, it causes you to want to act out, you know? And unfortunately, we see a lot of crime, not only here, but around the world because of that alone. So that would be one thing. Another thing would be the access to guns that they have here. Now, in other African countries, guns are usually illegal everywhere you go.
Yeah, police have guns.
Yeah.
Citizens
Some police don't even have guns.
Oh, yeah, true. Depending on where you go.
So the access to more guns, obviously you're going to get more violent crimes like murder and violent robberies and stuff like that. So that's something that's very similar to America, and we see the same type of crimes per se that you don't necessarily see in places that guns aren't illegal.
That is one thing that we have seen. It seems like in South Africa, there is more of a embracing of American culture, which seems to be kind of negative in our opinion.
Yeah, when you look at the music, fashion, the way they go about business, the music is usually full of violence, hate, and crime in music, especially hip hop. And then you look at how business is done. It's usually through like bribery and
shady means.
Getting over somebody or selling drugs or just anything like that. So just following that culture and that lifestyle isn't beneficial to having a safe environment.
Right. So we just wanted to give you guys our thoughts on this since it was definitely requested. People were going crazy trying to hear what we had to say about this. But we just wanted to let you guys know we were in no way trying to like hide the crime thing. We are just basically speaking on our experiences. We're not going to really tell a negative story unless something negative happens. That's how we go about things. If you watch our previous videos, we've had negative things to say about a lot of places and we got a lot of negative comments because of it. So
with that being said, we want to thank you so much for watching all the way through. If you like content like this, please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. As always, family, we love you. Shalom.
Shalom.